Good morning and a very warm welcome. You are watching JanataTelevision and this is the English Bulletin with me, Sushant Akal. The top stories first. Coronavirus infection spikes in the capital, highest single-day infection reported across the country. Hotel industry back in business as quarantine centers. Foreign returnees to pay rupees 11,000 per week for hotel quarantine. Conflict victims waiting for justice 15 years after peace accord accuse the government of ignoring their demands. India records highest ever single-day rise in COVID-19 cases, surpasses US to set the world record with over 78,000 cases. And England chased down 196 to win T20I match against Pakistan, take 1-0 lead in the 3-match series. And now the news in detail. The government yesterday confirmed 1,221 cases of coronavirus, which is the highest single-day infection reported so far. The disease also claimed 14 lives yesterday, which is also a record high since the virus was first detected in Nepal in late January. Kathmandu Valley also witnessed a sharp increase in number of coronavirus infections with over 400 cases reported in the last 24 hours. The Health Ministry informed yesterday that a record high 429 infections were detected in the 3 districts of the valley. Among the new cases, 372 were reported in Kathmandu, while 45 cases were confirmed in Bhaktapur and 12 in Lalitpur. According to Dr. Jageshwar Gautam, spokesperson of the Health Ministry, Kathmandu has become a hotspot for coronavirus with the maximum number of active cases in the country. Besides Kathmandu, Dhanusa, Morang, Bara, Parsa, Mahotari, Sarlahi, Rautahar, Chitwan and Rupandehi have over 500 active cases. There are 17,518 active cases across the country. The total number of infection has reached 38,561, while 20,822 persons have recovered from the respiratory disease. Meanwhile, the death toll in the country from coronavirus has climbed to 221. Hotel entrepreneurs are hopeful of revitalizing their businesses, which has been badly hit by COVID-19 crisis, as they can now provide quarantine facility. After months of lackluster businesses, hotels and lodges have finally come in operation for accommodating passengers returning home via repatriation flights. Although hotel businesses have reopened in the form of quarantine facilities, entrepreneurs opine they have helped the government by providing hotels in minimum charges than the original price rates. Initially, hotel entrepreneurs had faced massive backlash for fixing high price of the hotel rooms. The prices were labeled as unaffordable for the laborers and working class people returning home from COVID-19 affected countries. Later, representatives of the Hotel Association of Nepal and the Ministry of Culture, Tourism and Civil Aviation reached an agreement to reduce the price. According to the agreement, Nepali nationals rescued via chartered flights can now avail the quarantine facility at hotels for a minimum of rupees 11,000 for a week.
अहिले चाहिँ यो वास्तवमा व्यवसाय गरेकै होइन यो अब राज्यलाई परेको देशलाई परेको संकटको अवस्थामा हामीले पनि के गर्न सक्छौं अब आफ्नो खुल्तीबाट नजाओस् खाली कस्ट टु कस्ट मात्रै भए पनि गरौँ भन्ने हिसाबले काम गरिरहेको जुन उत्साहका साथ हामी अगाडि आथ्यौं क्वारेन्टाइन होटल चलाउने भनेर त्यो उत्साह चाहिँ अहिले हाम्रो कायम छैन एकदमै कम छ
Meanwhile, continuous lockdown followed by increasing cases of coronavirus have upset hotel staffers. Most of the hotel employees have lost their jobs, and the ones that have retained their jobs are at high risk of coronavirus infection. Concerned trade unions have demanded the government to provide protective equipment for the hotel employees who have been assigned to look after foreign returnees.
विदेशबाट आउने अन्य चाहे नेपाली हो या चाहे अन्य मान्छेहरूलाई क्वारेन्टाइनको रूपमा होटलमा राख्ने, त्यसो गर्दा कम्तीमा पनि होटलका मजदुरहरूले केही रोजीरोटी पाउन सक्छन्, त्यहाँका व्यवसायहरू के सर्भाइभ हुन सक्छन् कि भन्ने किसिमको जुन सहमति बनेको थियो बाहिरबाट हेर्दा राम्रो देखिन्छ, एक किसिमले राम्रो पनि हो। तर त्यहाँभित्रको वास्तविकता के हो भने रोजगारीको नाममा अथवा रोजीरोटी पाउने नाममा मजदुरहरूले पक्कै पनि केही समय सर्भाइभको लागि त काम गर्नु नै होला। र त्यति मात्र होइन, आज जुन मजदुर त्यहाँभित्र काम गर्दै हुनुहुन्छ, सर्वप्रथम त्यो मजदुर आफैमा सेक्योर हुन्छ कि हुँदैन, आफै सुरक्षित हुन्छ कि हुँदैन, आफै त्यो मजदुर रोग लाग्नबाट चाहिँ मुक्ति हुन्छ कि हुँदैन, त्यो एउटा समस्या हो।
According to latest data, 1,381 Nepali nationals rescued via chartered flights have been quarantined at different hotels in the valley. Conflict victims of Nepal marked the International Day of Victims of Enforced Disappearance yesterday. This day is observed across the world on August 30 every year. The conflict victims expressed their anger against the government for turning a blind eye to their plights even after 15 years of signing the Comprehensive Peace Agreement. They said that the government has time and again ignored their demand for justice and reparation. The decade-long conflict in Nepal from 1996 to 2006 victimized many families while many others were displaced from their homes. Even after such a long time since the peace accord was signed, the victims have neither received compensation nor found their lost family members. A joint statement issued by 41 conflict victims organizations yesterday questioned the government how it would achieve its dream of happy Nepali, prosperous Nepal when it has been ignoring the valid demands of the conflict victims since such a long time. The organizations drew the attention of the government that it should not waver from its duty to provide relief to the victims.
बेपत्ता परिवारको अवस्था भनेर सोधेको अवस्था छैन र उल्टै चाहिँ यो अहिलेको स्थानीय सरकार वडामा चाहिँ बेपत्ता परिवारको मुचुल्का गरेर पठाउनु भनेर उल्टै दोस्रो दुःख चाहिँ दिएको अवस्था छ। संस्था सङ्गठनसँग सहकार्य नगरी नसोधिकन एकाएक चाहिँ मलाई हिजो मात्रै वडाबाट फोन आएर 7 जना छिमेकीहरूलाई 7 जनाको नागरिकता लगेर फोटोकपी गरेर लिएर गएर वडामा जानु पर्यो भने यस्तो लकडाउनको अवस्थामा हामी कसरी बाहिर निस्किने, कसरी चुलो बाल्ने अवस्थामा उल्टै दुःख दिएको अवस्था छ यो आयोगले।
Meanwhile, the Commission for Investigation of Enforced Disappeared Persons has been delaying its hearings on addressing the concerns of the disappeared persons under the pretext of coronavirus crisis. The Commission, however, informed that it has been working towards formulating victim-friendly laws to investigate the cases at provincial level as well as providing relief to the victims.
हामीले चाहिँ गर्न सक्ने भनेको ध्यान आकर्षण गराउने, अनौपचारिक रूपमा औपचारिक रूपमा सरकारको ध्यान आकर्षण गराएर यसो बनाऊ, यसो गरिदिनुस् भन्ने बाहेक चाहिँ हामीसँग कुनै त्यो खालको अथोरिटी छैन। त्यसले गर्दा हामीले माग राखेको कुरा पनि कमसे कम चाहिँ यो अन्तरिम राहतको चाहिँ व्यवस्था यदि ऐन संशोधन गरेर आइदियो भने यस्ता समस्या अब भोलि अरू आउलान्। हिजो भूकम्पको समस्या थियो, आज कोभिडको समस्या भयो, अथवा 4 महिनापछि 6 महिनापछि वर्ष दिनपछि अर्को समस्या आउन सक्छ।
The conflict victims who have been waiting for justice since years are yet to experience anything new from the political and constitutional change. The doctors and other staffers at state-owned civil hospital at Min Bhawan, Kathmandu have started protesting by wearing black arm bands at work. The staffers and hospital's resident doctors who have been in protest for the past 3 weeks started protesting since yesterday further by wearing black armbands and holding placards with their demands. The staffers at the hospital have been in the phase-wise protest after the hospital management failed to provide them minimum remuneration promised by the government. The staffers at the hospital said that the hospital management has turned a deaf ear to their demands for a while now, because of which they are now forced to protest on the hospital premises during the time of the pandemic. Volunteers, collectively known as the 100 Group, have been distributing free food to the needy people while the prohibitory order is in force in Kathmandu. The group has been providing daily meals to needy people and daily wage earners who have been badly affected by the prohibitory order. The group of 100 has been offering food to the vulnerable section of the society since 31st of March this year during the initial phase of lockdown. They have continued the service and offer food at Khula Manch, Kathmandu every day at 4 in the afternoon. Daily wage laborers and homeless section of the society have said they have been benefited and well fed by the group. The group has said they have been receiving donations and financial aids from national and international well-wishers to provide the meals. The 100 Group feeds almost 500 people daily. And now the news from the economic front. It has been 25 years since the first ATM machine was first brought into operation 25 years ago. At present, transactions worth rupees 547.6 million is conducted every day through these automated teller machines. The first ATM was brought in operation by Himalayan Bank Limited in the year 1995, pushing Nepal's banking sector into a new digital age. However, Nobel Bank had already started the use of digital cards in the year 1990. When the machine was first brought into operation some 25 years ago, there was very little transaction, with people unaware and unsure about the new digital cash machine. However, in 2018, the official data says there are almost 13.78 ATMs per 100,000 Nepali people. In 2011, this number was 7.3 per 100,000 Nepali. Until December 2019, there were 6.81 million debit cards in operation. According to the latest data from Nepal Rashtra Bank, of the 753 local levels, commercial banks are in operation in 747 of them, which generally means there is an ATM machines in all of these local units. At present, there are 3,959 active ATMs in the country. The ATMs have especially been useful during this pandemic, with monthly transactions crossing the 540 million mark. Only last month, the total transactions through these ATMs reached a massive 6.3 million times, with the total transactions standing at 547.66 million rupees. Welcome back, and now the international news. India yesterday registered record new 78,261 cases, the highest single-day increase of COVID-19 cases since the pandemic began. According to BBC, India, the third worst hit country in the world, on Sunday surpassed the number of infections reported in the United States on 17th of July this year. The surge in the infections has been attributed to easing of restrictions by the Modi government to help revitalize the country's failing economy. The spike in cases has also been attributed to reopening of subways in the nation's capital, New Delhi. The government has also decided to conduct certain religious events and sports starting from September. India has, however, scaled up the testing and conducts nearly 1 million tests every day, compared to 200,000 in June. BBC has also cited a research by Johns Hopkins University, according to which global infections passed the 25 million mark yesterday, with 843,000 deaths. The US remains the most affected nation, closing in on 6 million infections. US President Donald Trump and Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden have clashed over the unrest in Portland, Oregon. Biden has alleged President Trump of recklessly encouraging the violence, calling it unacceptable after one person died on Saturday during clashes between rival groups. Al Jazeera has quoted Biden's statement that reads, "I condemn violence of every kind by anyone, whether on the left or the right, and I challenge Donald Trump to do the same. We must not become a country at war with ourselves," he added. President Trump, however, took to Twitter and blamed the mayor of Portland, Ted Wheeler, for the violence for allowing the death and destruction of his city. Portland has taken center stage in protests against racial discrimination and police brutality since the police killing of George Floyd, an African American, on 25th of May this year, which triggered national as well as international outrage. You're watching Janata Bulletin, and now the latest from the world of sports. England defeated Pakistan in the second T20I to take a 1-0 lead in the three-match series. England chased 196 to beat Pakistan by 5 wickets in the second T20I International at Emirates Old Trafford. Captain Ian Morgan smashed a 33-ball 66 and David Malan was 55 not out as England completed their third highest chase with 5 balls to spare. Earlier, Pakistan had got off to a good start with openers Babar Azam scoring 56 of 44 balls and Fakhar Zaman scoring 36 of 22. The pair put on 72 for the first wicket. Mohammad Hafiz scored a blistering 69 of 36 balls to take Pakistan to 195 for 4 in their allotted 20 overs. Chasing a strong total, opener Johnny Bairstow scored a quick-fire 44 of 24 deliveries to set the tone for the chase, which Morgan and Malan continued as England chased down the total in 19.1 overs. After the first T20I was washed out, Pakistan now only have the opportunity to draw the three-match series by winning the third match scheduled on 1st of September. Mercedes driver Lewis Hamilton produced a strong performance in the Belgian Grand Prix to take his 5th victory of the season. The victory in Belgium takes the Englishman's career wins to 89, 2 victories away from Michael Schumacher's all-time record of 91. Hamilton is also 47 points ahead of his closest rival in the championship table, a lead of 2 clear wins. In the race yesterday, Hamilton headed teammate Valtteri Bottas to a Mercedes 1-2, with Red Bull's Max Verstappen finishing in the 3rd place. Daniel Ricciardo drove an excellent race in the Renault to turn his 4th place on the grid into the same result after the race. He was followed by teammate Esteban Ocon and Red Bull's Alexander Albon in the 5th and the 6th place respectively. The next race is the Italian GP, which is on 6th of September. We are at the end of Janata Bulletin, and the headlines once again. Coronavirus infection spikes in the capital, highest single-day infection reported across the country. Hotel industry back in business as quarantine centers, foreign returnees to pay rupees 11,000 per week for hotel quarantine. Conflict victims waiting for justice 15 years after peace accord accuse the government of ignoring their demands. India records highest ever single-day rise in COVID-19 cases, surpasses US to set the world record with over 17,000 cases. And England chased down 196 to win T20I match against Pakistan, take a 1-0 lead in the three-match series. And that's all from the English News Desk for today. You can follow Janata Television and our programs on various social media platforms, including on our website janatasamachar.com. We urge all our viewers to follow government directive of the lockdown and follow a healthy, hygienic practices to keep safe from any infection. Keep watching Janata Television. Namaste.